so much to everyone at ASAP and to you for joining us for this session on cultivating emotional resilience for high pressure situations. My name is Kristine Goebel, and I am the CEO of Accompany Suite, where our focus is leadership and professional development. We exist to restore workplaces and relationships because we know that healthy workplaces will lead to healthier families. So we help professionals get and stay healthy through their workplace through 5 foundational areas. We hone in on purpose, team building, strategy, leadership development, and mentorship and coaching. And so there's a whole lot of things that we work with our clients on. But for today's sake, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to focus in on your interpersonal skill development. These are our soft skills, and also coaching you through some self-discovery. So I really want you to be thinking about everything I'm talking about today and how it applies to you. We're hoping that you walk away with 1 or 2 things that you can improve on. Feel free to watch this as many times as you'd like to be able to really work on yourself and how you handle those high pressure situations. We know that when we take these 5 areas and we really start to work on them, something really neat happens inside of organizations. They grow healthier, more aware, coachally robust, meaning that they actually collaborate in a way that they can disagree and have this mutual respect and understanding for each other, so they can take their workplaces much further than living in the land of resentment or assumption. All right. So real quick, we know a business does not change itself. It is the people who do. So we want to make sure that you stay connected to us for additional resources. There's freebies galore out there for you to take a look at. We've got a YouTube channel with little micro learnings, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever is your preference, go ahead and follow us there to stay up to date. So what to expect today, we're going to unpack what is emotional resilience, how do you grow it? And I'm going to cover these 4 areas. So we're going to go through thoughts and emotions. We're going to talk about self-awareness. We're going to go through mindfulness and also some focus techniques. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, what is emotional resilience anyway? So really what it is, it's how well you're able to respond when you're in these unexpected high pressure situations. But really, it goes across whether it's your personal life, your work life. Emotional resilience is going to carry you through because life's not easy for anyone. We all face different challenges. And so we just want to make sure that you're resilient all the time, regardless of how stressful it is. So great news is it can be developed and improved. So I'm going to focus in on some areas and ways to do it. So emotion, just unpacking it a little further for you, emotion is just a natural instinct, right? So it's our state of mind when we are in a circumstance, a relationship, a mood, whatever. And emotions happen all day long. We have resilience then, which resilience is the capacity to withstand or recover quickly when we're in a difficult situation. So, you wear a raincoat to be resilient against rain. Okay, it's the same thing. So it's a exterior, something tough on the outside, something tough on the inside, meaning it can handle the punch. So we want to make sure that with emotional resilience, emotions are a little bit harder because they actually stem from somewhere. So let's talk about thoughts and emotions real quick. Thoughts and emotions. So they are the cream inside the Oreo cookie, right? So that the cookies on the outside are our beliefs and our behavior. So one is internally our belief system. It could be developed in childhood through experience, through a number of different ways. Our behaviors are the things that people see on the outside, but the thoughts and emotions are these gas and brake in the middle of it all. So the beliefs generate a thought pattern for us, which then leads to feeling something, which then pushes this exterior thing. So we could also back into it. If I see somebody behaving a certain way that might be either abnormal to them, or it could be something that I don't like. Well, if I just judge them based on what I see, but I never know how they feel or what they think or what they believe to be true, I'm really never going to develop any kind of emotional resilience, especially when it comes to that relationship with that person. If it's a business setting, if I don't know why the business exists, why they make decisions the way that they do, what's the history there? Well, if I don't know that, all I'm going to know is based on what my personal experience and my belief system is. So, one thing I want to make sure before we get too deep into it is that it's okay to feel negatively about situations. It's totally normal, think negatively. Negative emotional responses, meaning scared, anxiety, some of those things, they're just indicators. Obviously, we're talking on a very average level. I'm not talking about anxiety or depression as a medical term, but I am talking about just an initial response to something. It is ingrained in us for all of time of human beings. When we used to hunt our food, I don't hunt my food, but if you do, you may know some of this. There are times where you are in a situation with, say, a bear, and if the bear is coming at you, there's a way that you can respond to it that will make it more aggressive, and there's a way that you can respond to it that will make it a little bit more passive. And so we want to make sure that our negative emotions are an indicator, but they're not the dictator of what we do. We get to decide how we are going to respond. So the first way to really unpack this is understanding yourself, then understanding others, and then think about solutions. We got to keep our brain always focused on the solution, not the problem. The problem, if we stay stuck in problem land, we never move ourselves, our team, our companies forward. So this is all in the land of emotional intelligence, which is all about understanding, managing, expressing emotions. And then we want to make sure that once we understand our own, that we can then really respond appropriately to the person in front of us. So who's that other person? So it gets us really, some people say that makes you smart about feelings, right? So it's this emotional intelligence helps you navigate. And I'm going to hit on that a little bit more as we go, because we want to make sure that we're effectively building stronger relationships with other people. Okay, self-awareness. Self-awareness, I love to just talk about these three things here: body language, tone of voice, and words. So if my body language isn't open and available to you, and I'm kind of hunched over in the corner and my voice is kind of low, you might think, oh my goodness, I'm going to turn this off because this lady is not capturing my attention at all. So body language and tone of voice and the words we speak are all really important. But what's really unique about body language is it tells more than half the story typically. Some people say it's 55% of the overall interaction. I've heard it as high as 80 to 90% of the overall interaction could be based on just the body language. Next in line would be our tone of voice. So if I'm yelling at you and I'm really aggressive and I'm doing all this stuff and then my brow gets squished together here, these are all things that could turn people off in an interaction. It also does not make us any more emotionally stable. So if we're looking for emotional resilience, we want to make sure internally we've got resilience. So we want to watch our body language and our tone because they're important. We also want to make sure that we're not causing the high pressure situation. So if we're not aware of our body language and our tone of voice alone, those two things, if we're not aware of it and it is offensive to another person, we just created a very high pressure situation for both parties, even though we didn't mean to. So I want you to understand that words are very low significance in the overall interaction, which is why emails and text messages are so widely misunderstood, why they cause so much assumption, and that they are the least effective form of communication in the workplace. So if you're going to use them, please also keep in mind that eye to eye, whether you're virtual or in person, eye to eye contact and being able to hear the tone of voice, those are extremely important to diffusing situations that are very high pressure or high stress. Want to get in front of people so they can hear our heart, hear our intentions, get to know us better. Now let's talk about mindfulness. So mindfulness, I'm going to talk about reaction and response here. So reaction is when we have something stimulates us and we act on it right away, and they just back up. You made a face, now I'm angry and I'm yelling at you. Where response is, you made a face, I'm going to think for just a second before I act, and that is responding. So this place in the middle here, this is where mindfulness comes into play, where reaction is often really quick. We have response, there's a little bit more thought involved in that. Whereas we have reactions can be destructive or unproductive. We are making sure that we stay productive with a response where it's considerate of everybody in the equation, not just me, but everyone. And we want to make sure that we are empowering people around us. So now we're going to really dive into focus techniques. And so focus is what we give our attention to, is what we see. So let's make sure we stay focused on the right perspective in these high pressure situations. So I love these triangle graphs. What I'm going to be talking to you today, at the bottom part here, we've got the foundations, and toward the top here, this is really this emotional intelligence I was talking to you about. Okay, so at the very foundational things about how to make sure we are focused, we think about sleep and eat, okay? So we all have to sleep, we all have to eat. How well we sleep and how well we eat dictate how stressful situations are going to be and how emotionally resilient we can be during it. So rest and walking is kind of the next level up. Rest is taking breaks. It's being mindful that I just had a really stressful interaction with this person. I might wait 24 hours before I respond to them, just so I can calm down a little bit, so my tone of voice and my body language will actually speak what I'm thinking. Next, we have focused breath. Those are things like 2 quick inhales and a long exhale. You've got to focus on how you're breathing, because if your breathing is done well, you'll keep your heart rate down, which will make you a little less stressed out. Next up, we have gratitude. So each one of these takes you to a higher level of emotional intelligence. So with gratitude, quickly, just if you're in a high pressure situation, jot down something, 1, 2, 3 things that you're very grateful for. Focus on those things for a minute. You will calm down. You will be more able to emotionally respond well to a situation. And the highest level we look at, we learn to speak the other person's language. This is about meeting people where they are. We have one end where people are really direct, very straight to the point, a little bit more aggressive or quick in how they respond or talk with people. And then we have the other side. These people need a lot of detail, patience. They're very methodical. They have to think it over. And we have to know who's in front of us. And when you can get to the point where you can flex yourself to meet somebody else where they are, guess what? High level emotional resilience decompresses the very, very high stressful situations, and you are setting yourself and the other person up for success to find those solutions together. So real quick to recap, thoughts and emotions, understand beliefs, you'll understand behavior. Self-awareness, watch that body language, tone of voice, and words, set yourself up for success. Mindfulness, we want to take that pause in between reaction and turn it into a response. And finally, it's our focus techniques: sleep, eat, rest, breathing, gratitude, speaking the language of other people. This will all help you be more emotionally resilient. Thank you so much for joining me today. Follow us Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube for the latest lessons on making your life and your workplace healthier. My personal email is included, and I welcome you to reach out with any specific private questions that you might have that we could help with. So on behalf of myself and the team at Accompany Suite, we look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy your day.